customer relationships is kind of the fourth piece. And customer relationships has a really interesting interaction with these other three pieces. It basically says, how do I get customers? How do I keep them? And how do I grow them? And just like thinking about distribution channels, these are very different for web mobile than they are for physical channels. But visually, they kind of look like this double-sided funnel. So let's just take a look at quickly a web example. In getting customers, you're going to be worrying about how do I acquire them? That is, how do I get them even to my website? How do I activate them? That is, how do I make them do something? And then later on, we'll see after I got them, how do I keep them around? That is, how do I not lose them through attrition and churn? And then what can I do once I have customers to make them spend more money or use my product even more? And so one of the things we'll be thinking about is, how do I get, keep, and grow customers? And just like every other step, you might have hypotheses on day one, but you're only going to figure this out when you're out of the building.
Okay, so this is actually interesting because you can think about some examples in your own life. Like, let me throw out some examples. When we talked about Amazon Prime, so Prime, Amazon Prime, how did they get you? How did they keep you? How did they grow? Any thoughts? How did they get you to sign up? If you did, what's that? Yes, that's exactly why I said that. Now, how do they keep you? Exactly. They produce, they spend all this money to make, good and better shows. My kids watch them, so I don't get rid of it. Right? They keep them. Same thing with Netflix. I remember about the similar kind of thing. How do you grow them? Now, I don't know if Amazon Prime does, but Netflix used to do this, where if you refer someone, you get a free month or something like that. Long time ago. That's a way to grow. Right? I know Uber did this, and Lyft did this. Okay. So those are all examples to think about as well. But go ahead and discuss. And there are many, many other examples as well. And all of these are relevant to everything you're working on. At least they might be relevant, so it's useful to think. For those of you online, also let me know if there are any questions, but hopefully you can hear me when I was talking about some examples before. If not, let me know. We can hear you, so you can unmute and speak or put it on chat. So really what you want to answer is, how would someone find if you're something like how would they find it? Yeah. And like Google advertising is awful, Facebook ad, these things are most obvious things today. But maybe that's not relevant. So that's the first part. How do you get that? And could also be trade shows. So you show that yeah, I mean, they have their conference. Yeah. Those are probably the most relevant ones. So the second part is, of course, how do you keep the customer? So you have to think about, so I think you just said it in 3 days. So okay, you have the customer account, right? Whether it's advertising, pictures, whatever. Now how do you keep them? And I think there's common themes in all of what you're doing. So think about what would the reason you keep Amazon because they have shows. How do you keep them? Software upgrades. Why do people love Tesla cars? Because they get the software. I don't have.
Doesn't very much apply, like, how do you keep refrigerator customers?
That's a good question. How do you?
Will share your refrigerator. Just buy a refrigerator, hope they come back. You make good quality,
Yeah.
when you're back, it's good, it's just been long enough.
Yeah, so if it's a long-term investment, like, I mean, the Tesla is a good example. I mean, it's a newer example, it's an expensive car. But you have, how do people keep talking about it because they love their car because every month or every few months they get an upgrade, software upgrade. It does something new that they like. You could imagine doing something like that in the future. I don't know if anyone does it. That's possible. I'm just saying, things always change. You come up with new ways of keeping the costs. But
You're saying this model will be different.
it is possible. It could be different. I think. How would you? So for instance, you might want to have a here I don't know, maybe trade some parts for them. Think about warranty or so there are lots of different ways. It's all different models. It's all different. So just think a little bit deeper. Yeah, most of the cases how you keep the customer also depends on the customer segment. So you pay utility company and you keep the customer. You offer upgrades, you offer new information, new ways of using the tool, newsletters, email communication. You keep communication with the customer. That's another way to do it. Offer upgrades, which is always good. That helps you grow your revenue. People buy something better, right? People send me upgrades in emails about getting computers or whatever. How do you grow the customer base?
Oh, I know. That's what I'm like, that's insane.
Well, I mean, the obvious thing is referrals. That was the simplest one to think about. And it's possible in almost all cases. Yeah.
Like I was thinking, to keep our customer base, it can be done through your advertising. Like we will advertise our own product, like we are making a solar thing, we as well as illuminate the other segment.
Yeah.
With that, we can also refer that these are the ones using our product. These are the companies.
Oh, yes, yeah. If you have testimonials and
Yeah.
yes,
It
that's
will
true.
be a both side advertisement. Like such that we can also.
Yeah, yeah. That's not going to be yeah. Yeah, I mean, people do this, right? Let me think. I can't think of a good example now. Yeah.
Good examples such as newspapers, like they promote their own papers as well as they promote the business of the people, like advertisers also.
Yeah, yeah. But advertisers pay the newspapers, so it's a little bit different. But yeah. The growing the other option, I mean, referrals are the obvious ones, but you know, you can also have discount programs or subscription programs. So another thing, of course, I know all of you are thinking about the capital sale, but you can have leasing programs, right? So some people lease their cars, so think about that as well. And you have to dig in a little bit deeper into that as well. Do you guys have anything to add?
Not really. I was mostly thinking that if we're gonna be selling to any kind of like, you know, governments or disaster agencies, do like bulk pricing. Like,
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
Then we'll give you a discount.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to Alibaba, that's a common thing, right? I mean, whether you buy 10,000 or a million or whatever, yeah, they're different pricing. That's definitely a good option. You should offer those options depending upon what it is that you're selling to. If it's a single person, it probably doesn't make sense. But if you're selling to governments, clearly it does. Okay, let's go on to the next segment, which is okay, it's probably the most important one. So
The next thing is revenue streams. How do you actually make money from your product and service being sold to customer segments? You know, revenue streams basically ask the question, what value is the customer paying for? And it actually has you think about what's the strategy of how I'm going to capture that value. Is it I'm going to just have a direct sale and it's a transaction based on price? Is it a freemium model where I'm going to give away the product for free and hope that some portion convert later? Is it a license or subscription model? That revenue model is different than the pricing tactics. That is, what is the dollar or pound amount or euro amount that I'm going to be charging? Again, the only way to figure this out is being able to interact with tens or hundreds or thousands of customers so you finally understand what the right revenue stream and revenue model is.
Okay, so think about that. Of course, the revenue model, I think in all your cases, well, actually, I'll let you think about this first and then we'll talk about the options. Discuss among yourselves first. Put something together. So you have different customer segments, but think about what the model could be for each segment as well. Could be different.
Yeah, I mean, just like, so red, like,
Finance. Are there consumables also? Right? Consumables. In your case, I don't think, but in your case, would you say, you have to finish one? Can you distill the stuff? Does it get ready? Yes, so you have to kind of replace it. Yeah. That would be a consumable. That can either offer a discount or, you can either sell it directly, you can offer it as a service contract. Lots of different options. One of these, insurance, is not financing. Yes, that's a good point, yeah. Yeah. That's a good point, actually, that's reminds me of something, because there are companies which actually take the carbon offset, they pay you upfront, and then they amortize it over later on, over a long time, so they take the difference in terms of the financing cost. So there are probably lots of different models you can apply to that. First, the example would be you take the tax credit, and you use it as a benefit, and then like a customer may not be able to pay a big down payment, but they will pay a smaller down payment, but the company that sells special tax pay that difference as part of the tax rate. The customer gives up the tax rate. They have a 5-year piece of that. I think that's a good model. Yeah, it's more like what can we make more accessible. Yeah, it may not apply to you because you're not dealing directly with the individual customer. You cannot, yeah. That's right. Exactly, yeah. That's exactly. So there's that other book. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Okay. You guys have anything new, different that is what to talk about?
I mean, just kind of selling our own replacement parts might be a good one.
Now, by the way, this kind of information, when you iterate on it, will also affect your technology, right? That means you might need to make it, let's say, easier to replace. Like the users themselves can replace.
Well, yeah, kind of more of a modular stuff.
Right,
Where you have
exactly.
this that plugs easily into this.
Yeah, so that's something to think about. What else?
I wasn't really paying attention to what we were saying. We have like government contracts, online retail.
Yeah, those would be channels. I mean, the contracts would be a direct sale, but online retail would be a channel. But the revenue model, which means how you exchange money.
Oh, okay.
All right. If you're leasing, if you're actually selling it, if you're financing it, so the service contracts. I mean, those are the things I can think of. And the carbon offsets would be an interesting option. Okay, let's move on to the next block, which is key resources. Yes, this is important also.
Next piece you want to think about is what are the key resources? What do you need to make the business model work? What assets are important? And what's an example of an asset in a key resource? Well, finance. Do you need capital? Do you need a line of credit? Some assets and resources are physical. Do you need physical plant, like the manufacturing line? Do you need specialized machines? Do you need vans and for delivery? Do you need cars? Is there something else you need? Is there intellectual property you need? Is there patents you need to acquire or protect? Do you need to acquire customer lists? Or is it just that you need to get great people, great software programmers in a specific area, or great hardware designers, or great manufacturing people? And then finally, again, the interaction between intellectual and human capital is that's another key resource. What specifically do you need to do to keep these people, and who are they?
Okay, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So try to fill it out. So what are the key resources? I mean, there are lots of options here: finance, physical, intellectual. People. I'll let you put some down first. Now, of course, it says a business model, so the business model affects what you're putting down here. If you try to find it. So who of you said intellectual property? I think everybody has since you're all engineers. That's probably the first thing you said. Patents, sometimes it doesn't matter, but in our field, probably does. So many people know. And anything else? Manufacturing, maybe you either have your own factory or you outsource it to some subcontractor. So possible today. There are two different models. And of course, capital is required. You can raise funding. So capital comes from many options. You can have grants from the government, as an example. You can have equity, which would be venture capital, things like that. Which is harder for hard tech, let's call it, but as it is, or debt financing. And there are actually lots of different options as well. Think about, for instance, Tesla is a great model. How did Tesla finance itself? Other than there are some things that people pre-ordered them, right? Lots of people actually paid quite a bit of money. So that was a creative use of idea. So that's an option.
Dealerships.
They don't have, they have their own dealerships. What do
They
you
don't
say?
even have those anymore.
They don't have their own dealerships?
Well, they have. It's a, yeah,
Oh, you can't buy them. Yes, I remember.
they save a lot of overhead.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's in the cost. They're not there yet. This is the resources. What you need to have to make your business model work. You're not to the cost yet. The debt financing, yeah, I think those are the key ones. But anything other than what we've discussed here, because we need to move on. Anyone want to? You could Kickstarter is a good example, yeah. I think there's Indiegogo is the other one for nonprofits. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I would definitely put common grounds as a threshold because they're relatively cheap. You only have to put it in a sweat that will just do your work. Yeah, and in almost all your cases, the government is a great source in this because they really will help get these kinds of things into the market. Okay, now let's look at, so hopefully everyone filled in something, at least your first guess. Okay, then let's move on to the next one. Just keep partnerships.
The next piece is, who are your key partners and suppliers? And partnerships are kind of interesting, is we need to ask ourselves, before what's the deal, is what exactly are we acquiring from partners? And also, what activities are they going to perform and when? And this is where startups sometimes make a mistake of thinking, well, large companies do partnerships. I guess I need those too on day one. Turns out the types of partnerships you need in year one are certainly not the ones you're going to need in year 3 or 5 or 10. And the types of partnerships could be strategic alliances, joint ventures, just regular suppliers and buyers. And so you need to be thinking through who they are and actually getting out of the building and testing them.
Okay, give it a shot. Now you'll say you don't need any